Hello Muggles. Today we're learning English with the half-blood wizard himself, Harry Potter.
Holy cricket! You're Harry Potter! I'm Hermione Granger.
We're going to watch clips from Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, and we're going to study Harry's British English accent and learn lots of fantastic vocabulary along the way. So hop on board the Hogwarts Express and let's learn some English. Let's start with Harry Potter's accent. He speaks with received pronunciation, which is a British English accent that's associated with education and with privilege. Now, it has no geographical boundaries, so you can find it anywhere in the UK, although it is connected with London and the south of England. Here's an example.
Hagrid, what is that?
A key part of received pronunciation is clarity. It's being understood by the person listening to you. So therefore, it's very important for each sound to be clear. So in this example, the consonants are very clear. For example, that. The T at the end of that, he pronounces very clearly.
Hagrid, what is that?
In other accents, that would be dropped. It would be that. But with Harry Potter and received pronunciation, that.
Can you hear me?
In this example, the H of hear, in some accents of British English, that would be dropped. It'd be ear. But in received pronunciation, it's nice and clear. You're saying every single sound. Hear.
Can you hear me?
Now, Harry does use examples of connected speech. This is where we join sounds or we omit sounds.
It's just, I've never talked to a snake before.
For example, there, talk to. Now, that ED of talked is a T, and then the next one is a T. To, so the first T disappears, so it's talk to a snake.
I mean, do you talk to people often?
In this example, he says often. There are two different ways to say this word, often or often. It's up to you, it's up to the individual speaker which one you prefer. There's no change in meaning, it's exactly the same. Often or often.
I never knew my parents either.
Here again is another example of a word that could be changed in sound, either or either. Either. It doesn't matter which one you choose, they are completely interchangeable.
Wow.
Okay, here Harry uses up. He uses the sound. Now in England, this sound divides the country in half. In the south, they say and in the north, it's So in the south, up. In the north, up. Take the word butter. Now I'm using that sound, butter. In the north of England, butter. Mother in the south of England, mother in the north of England. Shut in the south of England, shut in the north of England. Now, speaking of different accents, this is something that I love about Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, is there are a variety of British English accents. We're going to look at a few of those right now. So let's start with Harry's best friend, Ron Weasley. He speaks with a London accent. It has features of RP, of received pronunciation, but also of Cockney. It's a kind of mixture between the two. Very common in London and the southeast of England.
Take a bit of toast, mate. Go on. Ron's right, Harry.
So in this example, he's showing features of Cockney. So things like the glottal T. So the glottal stop on bit. It's not bit, it's bit. It's not toast, it's toast. It's not mate, it's mate. So that glottal T sound.
Take a bit of toast, mate. Go on.
Even just the word mate is quite an informal word and probably wouldn't be used by some speakers of received pronunciation. But in Ron's accent, it's a very common word. Also that broader vowel sound, take. So it's not take, it's take. So slightly wider mouth position when he says that.
Shut up, Harry.
Here's another example. That T disappears, shut up, not shut up, shut up. And Harry. Now if he was a true Cockney, he would drop that H, it would be Harry, shut up Harry. As I said, his accent is a combination of received pronunciation and Cockney and sort of general London influence. So he's using that H there, Harry.
Shut up, Harry.
We've also got Neville. Now Neville speaks with a Yorkshire accent. This is a northern accent, and it's very distinctive.
Fatty Patel said that she wouldn't come out of the girls' bathroom.
Here's the example of that sound. So in received pronunciation, it's come, but in Yorkshire accent, it's cum, And you also have there bathroom. bathroom. This is another sound that distinguishes the north from the south. So in the north of England, that A has a ah, it's an ah. But in received pronunciation and southern accents, it would be ah. So bathroom, bathroom. In Yorkshire and northern accents, bathroom.
Fatty Patel said that she wouldn't come out of the girls' bathroom. She said that she'd been in there all afternoon, crying.
Okay, he says afternoon, afternoon. In a southern accent, in received pronunciation, afternoon. So ah. So that ah and ah, there is a division between the north and the south. So another example might be fast. Fast in received pronunciation, fast in a northern accent, like a Yorkshire accent. Now it does depend on the speaker. So sometimes someone with received pronunciation might say fast, or someone with a northern accent might say fast. It depends on the speaker, but those are general rules. Before we continue, guys, I just want to say a big thank you to Cambridge University Press for sponsoring this video. Now, you guys know how much I love Cambridge University Press. I think they do some fantastic work. I use their books in my lessons. I've used their books in my lessons for the last 10 years. And now they have a brand new YouTube channel dedicated to teaching English on YouTube. I think that's fantastic. So it's called Learn English with Cambridge. And what I want you guys to do is to go to the description below this video, click the link and subscribe to their channel, and you'll get weekly videos from them. And it's free, it costs you absolutely nothing. How fantastic is that? Now, what's the channel like? Well, it's got 5 teachers from around the world, which is really cool. It gives it that global feel. So the teachers are George in the UK, Rebecca in Brazil, Greg in Spain, and then Maria and Andres in Colombia. And as I said before, I love that sense that English is a global language, that this is for everyone. It's very inclusive. These guys are fun, they're energetic, and they make learning English an enjoyable experience. And they all teach the kind of English that you're going to need in everyday situations. So whether it's asking for a cup of coffee, or ordering a cup of coffee, or asking for directions, they have those kinds of videos. Now, they're releasing 1 video a week, and they're quite short videos, 1 to 2 minutes long, which I think is great. Short, bite-sized amounts, okay? So you can watch it anytime, anywhere. So I want you guys to go to the description below, look at that link, click on it, and then go and subscribe to Learn English with Cambridge. Okay, let's look at Hagrid. Now, Hagrid has an incredible West Country accent. It's very strong. It's very distinctive.
Norbert.
Yeah, well, he's got to have a name, doesn't he?
You'll notice here he's dropping the H's, so he's E's and Av. And he says Dunny, Dunny. Dunny is a spoken representation of doesn't he, but it's merged together as one, so Dunny, Dunny.
Norbert.
Yeah, well, he's got to have a name, doesn't he?
How did you get one?
I won it. Of a stranger I met down the pub.
You got the vowel sounds there, pub, pub, not pa, but pub. It's a kind of sound. I won it off a stranger I met down the pub. Okay, I need to work on my West Country accent.
I won it. Of a stranger I met down the pub.
And of course you have McGonagall with her soft Scottish accent.
Oh, thank you for that assessment, Mr. Weasley. Perhaps it would be more useful if I were to transfigure Mr. Potter and yourself into a pocket watch.
But perhaps the most distinctive is Hermione with her conservative RP. Harry, I would say, has contemporary RP, but Hermione has conservative RP, which is just a little bit more formal. For example,
You're Harry Potter. I'm Hermione Granger.
You're Harry Potter. So every sound is given full attention. Potter, not Potter. Potter. The sound of that "oh" is made at the front of the mouth to create that "oh" sound. Oh. Also, the T is so clearly pronounced. That true T. Potter. Let's look at another example.
Wingardium Leviosa. Stop. You're going to take someone's eye out. Besides, you're saying it wrong. It's Leviosa, not Leviosa.
You do it then if you're so clever.
Go on.
Wingardium Leviosa.
Wingardium Leviosa.
Now in this one scene, we get to understand the importance of word stress. It's not Leviosa, it's Leviosa. That change in stress allows Hermione to perform her spell perfectly. If you get it wrong, then you can't perform the spell. Now that's much like in real English. There are some words where if we change the stress of the word, it has a different meaning. For example, present and present. Present the stress on the first syllable is a noun and it means a gift. So thank you for my birthday present. Thank you for my birthday present. Shift the stress to the last syllable, present, and it becomes a verb and it means to introduce something. So often maybe a TV show. So I've been asked to present the news. I've been asked to present the news. So there, the stress is on the last syllable, present, and it becomes a verb. So you can see there the importance of word stress. Leviosa, leviosa. Another really interesting feature in Harry Potter's accent is the formal, polite structures that he uses. He's a very polite child, and he uses long, polite sentences to request things. For example,
Passageway on your left, madam.
Excuse me, sir. Can you tell me where I might find platform 9 3/4?
can you tell me where I might find platform 9 3/4? He's requesting to find where this platform is. Can you tell me where I might find? Such a long way to ask, where's platform 9 3/4? That's how you could say it. Excuse me, where's platform 9 3/4? But that's quite direct and less polite. What Harry is doing here is making it a less direct question that creates the impression that it's more polite. So can you tell me where I might find platform 9 3/4 is more polite. And that's a very useful general rule with English, is if you are making requests, the longer the sentence, the more indirect it is, also means the more polite it is. Okay, let's look at some great vocabulary that appear in Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone.
There's where you get your quills and your ink. And over there, all your bits and bobs for doing your wizardry.
Bits and bobs. This is a noun and it just means an assortment of small items. You don't necessarily need to mention what they are, they're just little things. So for example, I could say, I'm just going to the shops to get some bits and bobs. Now, I don't want to list all the things that I'm going to get. Milk, eggs, bread, you don't care. I'm just going to say bits and bobs. And that just means a few things, little items.
And over there, all your bits and bobs for doing your wizardry.
How could I be so stupid? I checked this out weeks ago for a bit of light reading.
This is light.
Light reading is just reading content that's not too demanding. It's quite easy to read. It doesn't have complicated words. It's quite pleasurable. So for example, just a magazine could be light reading. So you might say, I bought this magazine for a bit of light reading on the train journey. Obviously the opposite of light reading would be heavy reading. That would be more complicated, dense text. Here Hermione is being quite funny. She says it's a bit of light reading for her, that big book, but for Ron, it's not light reading, that's quite dense reading, so it's quite funny.
Hey Ron, somebody broke into Gringotts.
To break in is a phrasal verb, and that is when people intrude into a house or into a building without permission in order to steal something or take something. So a robber would break in to someone's house. So example sentence, last night robbers broke into the museum. Last night robbers broke into the museum.
You're sneaking out again, aren't you?
Ah, to sneak out. This is a great phrase. To sneak out is to leave somewhere without anyone noticing, to do it quietly, secretly, so that people of authority don't notice. So maybe if you're a teenager in a house and you sneak out to see your friends, you do it without your parents noticing. And that's the same here, right? The kids are talking about sneaking out of Hogwarts. The past of sneak is snuck. Snuck. So last night I snuck out to see my friends.
Nighty-night.
Nighty-night is a phrase that we use usually with children to say goodnight. So if I'm saying goodnight to my niece or my nephew, I would say nighty-night. It's not something you would probably use with another adult, but it's up to you. You can do what you want.
Holy cricket! You're Harry Potter!
Here's a wonderful phrase, holy cricket. Hermione here is showing surprise. Holy cricket, you're Harry Potter. Now, I don't know how many people would say holy cricket. It's a fun phrase, but I don't think I would say it. There are other ways you might say this. Oh my goodness could be a phrase. If they read Harry Potter now, maybe Hermione would say OMG. OMG, you're Harry Potter. Possibly. But oh my goodness, oh my gosh, oh my god, OMG, wow, geez, gee whiz. There are lots of options. Okay guys, I hope you enjoyed that lesson with Harry Potter. If you would like me to look at the second Harry Potter film, then let me know in the comments below and I could maybe do another video for you guys, looking at the accents and language in that film. Remember to click the link below and subscribe to Learn English with Cambridge. But until next time guys, this is Harry Potter, the Half-Blood Wizard, saying goodbye. Guys, it's me, the Chief Dreamer.